What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another video from FtC&x. In this video, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the VONT light strips. Now, before we get deep into the video, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos like this. I also want to take a quick second to thank VONT for sponsoring this video. Let's get into it. Let me begin by unboxing the light strips. Now, these light strips come in two sizes. You got the 32.8 feet and you got the 16.4 feet, and there's definitely a slight difference in the box. Now, unboxing both of these, you have your flap at the bottom right here, and opening it up, you get two of the 16.4 light strips, 16.4 feet of light strips. So that totals to 32.8. Now, in the 16.4, you only get one, as you can see right here. So putting that aside, you have your two sets of 16.4 feet of light strips, and then underneath this you have the installation mounts for the light strips if you choose to use them. Otherwise, if you don't, there is adhesive on the back of the light strip, so no need to worry about that. Next, you have your power adapter to light up your light strips. There you go. And finally, you have the connector that connects the two light strips together, as you can see here. So that is very neat. And you also have a actual control panel where you can control the light strip. But of course, there's much more advanced controls that you can utilize through the app, which I'm going to show you later in the video. Next, you have more installation mounts. This is for the other set of lighting strips. Then you have your primer. And then you have a bunch of little pieces of paper that just tells you more about the light strip and some helpful tips as well. Now that you've seen what you get with these lighting strips, let's talk about pricing and features. Now, the 16.4 feet goes for $24 on Amazon, and then the 32.8 feet goes for $36, but sometimes you can find that a little bit cheaper. Now, when it comes to features, these lighting strips are wireless. That means that they can be controlled via the VONT Home app, which I'm going to show you a tour of later in the video. But in case you don't have access to the app, there is a physical control panel, which also I'm going to give you a tour of next. Now, some of the other features is that if you do hook this up with Wi-Fi through the app, you can actually control these lighting strips through Google Voice or Alexa, which is pretty cool. And they also offer a lifetime warranty on these lighting strips. So in case one or two LEDs go out, you can contact them and they can look into replacing it for you. Now, another cool thing with these lighting strips is that there is no hub required, which means that you can control them from pretty much anywhere. So if you're considering buying these light strips, I do have a couple of installation tips for you. The first one has to do with the adhesive. So this entire roll of light strips, like most other light strips on the market, has an adhesive on the back of it. But what you have to be careful of is that when you're pulling that adhesive apart from the light strip, make sure you're not pulling the entire adhesive and that it's actually sticky behind the light strip. That's actually what I did by accident for the first couple of inches that I was utilizing, and I had to put it all back together and redo it again, and it was a pain. Now, the other thing is, let's just say you have a big roll, specifically the 16.4 feet of lighting strip, and you don't want to use all of it. That's actually not an issue. What you have to do is just find this bronze little sectors where the pins are, and you're just gonna see where this scissor is, and you're gonna have to cut down in the middle. Do not cut down, slightly to the right or left, because otherwise it won't work. So make sure to cut down right down the middle. The final tip I have for you is that if you're gonna put these on your wall or a place that has corners, try not to fold them very sharp. So what I did when I installed these on my wall, I actually left a little bit of breathing room. So instead of folding it like this very tightly, I actually folded it a little bit more like this, where I left a little bit of a cushion or a breathing room, so I'm not cutting off any wiring or circuits behind that lighting strip. Setting up the lighting strips was pretty straightforward. So right here you have your power adapter, which then has the wire leading up to the wiring right here for the physical control panel. Now once you connect to the control panel, you have another wire already attached to the panel that leads up here. Now once you go up there, you have two connection points that comes from the physical control panel, and you can actually light up two lighting strips. So like I mentioned, there is a control panel. So with this control panel, you have your power button. So let's turn it on right now. And as you can see, it is powered on. Now the second button down here is to change colors. So if I press this now, it's turning into a darker blue, then purple, then this is more of a lighter blue, red, and you get the point. Now moving down here, you have the different types of modes. That's what this button controls. So if I press on this now, it is now going to be changing colors rapidly. If I press on it again, it's going to come back on slowly. So you have different modes that you can control from the physical control panel. This third button has another feature. Now, if you press and hold this button, you can actually adjust the brightness of the LED strips, and that is pretty useful if you don't want to keep going into the app and you just want quick physical access to adjusting your settings. Setting up the light strips in the VONT app was honestly a breeze. You just have to look up the VONT Home app through either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and then once you download it, you're going to open up the app. Now keep in mind, the app does require you to create an account, and once you have created an account, as you can see, I already registered one of the light strips here, but what I'm going to do is add the second one. Now as you can see, the second one automatically populated right here because this is a Bluetooth device. So we're just going to press on that to start pairing it with the app. Now it does take a couple of seconds. I will say this setup is really quick and straightforward. And as you can see, we're already done. Once you set up the light strip and it successfully recognized it, the next step is going to ask you to confirm that this is from the right light strip. So in this case, this is from the 32 feet light strip. So I'm going to say that yes, this is the case. Next step is the Wi-Fi setup. Now keep in mind, you don't need to set up your Wi-Fi if you're not going to be utilizing Google Voice or Alexa. So I'm not going to be utilizing that right now. So I'm just going to skip and confirm. And there you go. You're all set up. Now let me show you around how it works throughout the app. So now let me give you a tour of the app. So on the top right corner of the app, you have your settings menu. Now once you go in the settings menu, you have different options. You can change the name of the light strip. You can adjust your device safety settings. You can even adjust and change your Wi-Fi settings. Now, like I mentioned, the Wi-Fi settings or setting up your Wi-Fi isn't that important because you really only need your Wi-Fi connection if you're trying to use the light strip with your Alexa or Google Assistant. So this is not the case for me, but going back, as you can see to the left underneath where it says Smart Strip Light, you have your Bluetooth icon, and then you have a line going through the Wi-Fi logo, which, like I already mentioned, it just means that your Wi-Fi is not connected. But this is a Bluetooth device. Now going back to the right side, right underneath the settings menu, you have your toggle switch to turn off and on the light switch. Below that, you have your schedule option. Now if you press on that and press on that again, you have the option to schedule specific days of the week, even down to the specific minute that you would like to have the light strips turn on. Below schedule is where you can adjust your brightness. So right now it's at 100%. Let's turn it now down to 8% and back again to 100%. So quite a bit of a difference. Below that is your different modes that you get with these light strips. First, you have music. Now with music, you have dynamic and calm settings, and you can also adjust your sensitivity. So in my case, I can have it all the way up to max, and as you can see, it is definitely extremely sensitive with this mode, even on calm. But if I turn it all the way down, it's slowed down dramatically. Continuing down, you can select different colors that you wanted to display. Now, if none of these colors are something that you're interested in, you do have the color wheel. Now, if you press on the color wheel, you can select your own different color that's unique to you. And once you do, you can add it to Save My Colors. And what that does is that if you go under here, as you can see, this is the third color, this magenta color. And once you select it, this is what it's going to be utilizing with your calm settings, and same thing with dynamic. So very cool. Next is just a straightforward color setting. So you can have it just set up on a specific solid color. So I'm gonna go to blue, and there you have it. And same thing again with the color wheel, you can select a specific color and save it to that color wheel. And then the third mode you have is your different scenery that you can utilize. Now, under emotion, you have relaxation, breathe, vivid. Under life, you have reading, romantic. Nature, you have a bunch of different options. Now, if none of these scenes and none of these modes are good for you, what you can do is go under this fourth setting and you can create your own mode. So you can have your own favorites mode with the custom speed, and you can name it. You can choose the specific colors you want it to display. Now, as far as where I installed these light strips and how much did I use, I actually installed these light strips in my studio/office space, and I ended up utilizing almost 40 feet of lighting strips. I've had these light strips now for a week, and I noticed a few problems. Beginning from the fact when you first get these lighting strips, I was a bit surprised that they included 2 rolls of 16.4 feet. If you're buying the 32.8 feet, they included 2 rolls of the 16.4 feet instead of one big roll of 32.8 feet. And the reason why this annoyed me is I would have preferred that. A person who's buying 32.8 feet knows that they're going to be utilizing these light strips for a big room. And it's not going to be a small room, and they want to get it done with. They don't want to just keep using different rolls as they keep going with the installation process. So that was a bit annoying. But then what also annoyed me is you're including these 2 rolls of lighting strips that equal to 32.8 feet, and they did not include a 4-pin connector. So if you cut, or if you need to cut the lighting strip down the middle and connect it with the other lighting strip, you can't do that. It's all they include is the wall mounts and screws, nothing that can be of use if you're in that situation. Another issue I noticed is that the app can be a bit sluggish at times, and it does lag just a bit. So currently one of the lighting strips that I have installed, obviously not these ones, but one of the ones that I already have installed on my wall is turned on. But as you can see right here, it says that it's off. So in order for me to get it to be controlled with the app, I have to turn it on and then turn it back off and then turn it back on again. And once you do that, it's turned on, it's ready to be used by the app, and there are no issues after this. But it's just the fact that it doesn't recognize it right away that it's currently turned on is just a bit annoying. And then once you're using it, sometimes it does lag a little bit when you're selecting between modes or presets that you have in the app. It does take a bit of time, but eventually it gets it. If I have to rate the app, I will give it a 6.5, 7 out of 10. There's definitely some updates and some bugs that have to be fixed with the app, but other than that, it was great. Now that we talked about the cons, let's talk about the pros, beginning with the price. Now, the 16 feet, like I already mentioned, goes for $24, and sometimes they do have promotions on these prices. But the 16 feet goes for $24, and then the 32 feet goes for $35 or $34. And when you look at the price point versus with everything you're getting, so for example, the fact that this is compatible to use and control with Google Voice or Alexa is a great pro. Another pro is the app compatibility. You can control and even customize your own modes, schedule the lighting strips to go off at a certain time. This is all an excellent feature. Now, while the app does have a couple of issues, I'm sure it's nothing that a few updates can't fix. But those are 2 great pros. And then another big one is the lifetime warranty. Now, I've had these light strips for a week. I've been using them pretty aggressively. I've been keeping them on for about 10 hours a day for the last week, and I haven't noticed one LED that was dead. Everything has been working perfectly fine, but the fact that there's a lifetime warranty on this just makes my mind a bit more at ease. So this was my setup and review video for the VONT light strips. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Hope you have a great day. Take care.